Fujifilm 80mm f1.4 versus a full-frame cheap lens from Sony 28mm f2. Let's see which one is better and which one is delivering better results for my street photography and for my general 28mm photography. Let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu, and in this video I want to compare and to answer to my big personal question: which 28mm lens is better and which 28mm lens will bring me joy in street photography but also in 28mm documentary photography, being portraits or being wide shots for documenting a specific scene. So if you are in content like this, subscribe now to my channel and give it a like. I have here Fujifilm X-T5 with 80mm f1.4 lens, and I've used this lens also on my X Pro 3, but this time I will review it against Sony A7C on X-T5, because X-T5 sensor, it is a very good sensor that is very near to full frame quality. Next I have here Sony A7C with 28mm f2 lens, and I've used both these lenses recently in street photography but also in family photography, and also I've used these lenses extensively over a period of time, and now I feel I'm ready to share with you which one I would choose for my personal and street photography, but also for event photography, because both two lenses are capable to do any kind of photography in this field of view. So first, let's address the build quality. Both lenses are made from metal and both lenses have good build quality to it. The 80mm f1.4 has a floating element and also has an aperture ring, but the aperture ring, it is not a very clicky aperture ring, it is a very loosely aperture ring that you can bump by mistake. But yes, you have an A-lock, and with the A-lock you'll be with a lens that is acting like a Sony full-frame lens without an aperture ring. So, build quality, I could call them equally good, but there is a huge difference between 80mm f1.4 and 28mm f2 regarding the build, because the 28mm f2, it is very small and light, and the 80mm f1.4, it is a big chunky lens that has some heft to it. So the overall package X-T5 with 80mm f1.4, it is a very big package that has again some heft to it. I feel it is at the limit. You don't want to carry this all day long, but this Sony A7C with 28mm f2, it is a very small package, a very light package, is staying very well in the hand, and you can carry this package all day long. So regarding build and weight, I feel the wins goes to the Sony lens. Being so small, so light, metal build, you have a very portable package with Sony A7C. When we are talking about the 28mm lens on a camera, like Leica Q2 or Leica Q3, we are also thinking about how good is the combo for traveling. Well, I feel X-T5 is not so good for traveling because the package, it is big. Yes, you have some advantages to this package, but again, for traveling, I don't think you want to have this all day long in your bag, and it really depends again on person to person. So for me, regarding a travel combo, I feel Sony A7C, it is winning it by far. It is a very light package compared to X-T5 with 80mm f1.4. Let's talk about AF speed and AF accuracy. Well, this is a tricky subject because I feel both lenses have the same AF speed, but regarding AF accuracy, again, it really depends on the camera. So on X-T5, I'm feeling I'm confident to get good shots in street photography with AF where scenes are happening fast on AF-S single point. But this is another discussion, so please subscribe to see when I will publish the video where I will review the AF of X-T5 after 6 months of use with different lenses. So 80mm f1.4 is giving me good results in fast moving situations on AF-S single point. So this is how this lens works, but this means that you'll probably not have all the time the eye in focus. Now, the 28mm f2 lens is giving me good results with IAF, APS-C and so on, but this lens is not so fast and so accurate regarding focusing like a Sony 35mm f1.8 lens. So the AF is good, but it's not on the Sony level. You will have some misfocuses, but not by much. Let's call them equally good regarding AF. I can't decide which one is better. The differences are very small, and again it depends on situation and on situation. But if you want IAF and to be sure you have the eyes in focus in all situations, and if you have a situation where you're doing a paid portrait or portraits with your family and you aren't in a hurry, then this will do the job better. I'm not trusting the IAF on my Sony X-T5. You'll have missed focuses on IAF and also on face AF and so on. So again, it really depends on situation and on situation. But for stick photography, AFS and this AF-C continues with IAF, it's doing the job, but not as great as other Sony lenses. The next point is image quality. Which lens is offering me better image quality? I feel that both lenses are offering me very good image quality, so I can't complain. I can't say that on Fujifilm I have a bad image quality or on Sony I have a bad image quality. No, they are rendering the images in a different way, and depending on the scene, I feel X-T5 is winning it in some situations and Sony A7C it's winning it in other situations. At f1.4 I have good image quality, but also here at f2. Also at f8 I have here very good image quality, and I like more the image quality that I get from an f8 image, f11 compared to this lens. So again, it depends on the aperture, on the situation and on the lighting on the scene. I can't say at this moment, yes, you'll get better image quality with this lens or with this lens. No, they are offering you good image quality, comparable image quality, and in some situations, one lens is winning it, it's offering you a special look, and in other situations, the other lens is offering you a special look. So this is it. Now let's talk about the minimum focus distance, because it's a very important subject. I like to get close, and this 18mm f1.4 lens, it's helping you get very close. But it's a big lens, and with a big lens it's hard to get close in street portraits, in candid portraits. This lens is offering me a 29cm minimum focus distance, so I can't get so close like on this lens. Both have good AF when it's coming to close focus distance, but again, I feel I have the advantage here. This helps me a lot getting it closer and getting it some special shots. So regarding minimum focus distance, Fujifilm 18mm f1.4, it is winning it. Now let's talk about the big chapter that for me it is important, how well these lenses perform in street photography. Well, both these two lenses perform well in street photography, but we have a factor that will differentiate those two lenses. The first factor is that Fujifilm X-T5 has a flip screen that comes to you, and this will help you take easier the shots. On Sony A7C I don't have a tilt screen that comes to me, it flips on the left, and again for me it is cumbersome. I've got used to it, but it's working and it's not working. But let's say I'm okay, I've learned to use the screen closed and I'm getting good results. But another big factor that will make me choose one camera over another camera is the fact that on X-T5 I have a very silent shutter, mechanical shutter. On Sony A7C the mechanical shutter is not so silent, and I can't shoot all the time with electronical shutter because I get bending. So I feel that in street photography, X-T5 with 18mm f1.4 has a little advantage. Let's hear the mechanical shutter of X-T5. Now let's hear the mechanical shutter of Sony A7C. So I like more the mechanical shutter of X-T5, it is very silent, you can be very close to your subject and the shutter will not disturb the subject. On Sony A7C I really don't know if the shutter will disturb the subject. I've tried to test it, I didn't have any bad results, but again for me it is a little too loud, so I've tried to use the mechanical shutter in silent mode. But I feel for street photography X-T5 with 80mm f1.4 has the win. But again the package it's a little big, so it really depends on your location and on your setup. If you want to take this big package just for 1, 2, 3 hours, I think it's okay, but for several days for travel photography I think we can be okay with the sound of the mechanical shutter of Sony A7C, and we can put again the Sony A7C in electronical shutter and we can get the results. So it's a workable solution. It really depends on you. I really have wished Sony A7C to have a more silent mechanical shutter. Now another big point is the price. We have here a very expensive lens, the Fujifilm X-T5 lens, compared to a very accessible lens, the Sony lens. And again, on the used market you can find the Sony lens very cheap, and this is hard to find and it's not so cheap, of course. Regarding the price, again, yes, Sony it is winning it because it is a very accessible lens, and as we were able to see, the lens is on par with this expensive lens and it is smaller and with very good AF, and also comes with a very small camera if you buy a Sony A7C. So let's get to the conclusion. Which one is better and which one I recommend to use? Well, this is a hard decision. For me, having both these lenses and having both these two cameras, for me at this moment it's hard to decide which one I would go with. I love the rendering of 18mm f1.4 on the big screen and when I edit the raw files. In JPEGs, I like the results in color. The results in black and white, I really don't like them too much. In some situations is delivering, in other situations is not delivering in black and white. In black and white, I like more the rendering and the results from a full frame camera. So this is smaller, I like black and white photography more than color photography, so this for me it will win probably in the long time. But on the other hand, when I'm editing the raw files from the X-T5, I feel I get the image that I want better in color and also in black and white with 18mm f1.4. So it's a hard decision at this moment and I didn't make a decision. But in the end I think it depends on each person. If you have a Sony camera, the 28mm f2 is a no-brainer. If you have a Fujifilm X-T5 camera or another Fujifilm camera, you can't find another fast prime lens with this f1.4 good quality. So if you are a Fujifilm user, you will go with the 80mm f1.4 lens. But if you aren't decided and if you aren't in a Sony system or in a Fujifilm system, then in what system should you enter for a 28mm lens? A good lens that can be taken with you in all situations. Well, my advice is if you aren't in any of these systems, my advice it is to go with a Sony system because the package it is smaller, the package it is cheaper than this package, the results are similar, the black and white files are extraordinary, and basically here you have a Leica Q2 camera or a Leica Q because you have a 24 megapixel sensor, but it is sufficient and you can change lenses. So this is the more portable factor, and if you want an all-around factor that you can take with you, because again photography it is fun and nice when you are able to have a camera on you. If the camera it is too big to be taken with you, the camera will stay home. So even if I have this package for some months, again I'm not so thrilled to put my hand on it. I always want a smaller camera. I like smaller cameras with good image quality. So this is where Sony is winning it, and especially in black and white. If you want Fujifilm colors on a Sony camera, again I advise use cobalt profiles. I'm using those profiles and I get Fujifilm colors on my Sony A7C. So these are my solutions, these are my thoughts. If you like this video, please give it a like now. Subscribe to my channel, share my video and check the affiliate links if you want to buy something from Amazon and support my channel. Thank you, leave me a comment, leave me your questions and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.